tanks and 70 plus missiles, collect space jump and skip high jump, and defeat spore spawn. That one's pretty quick, but we see our runners are starting here. They are in Cirrus Station, and we'll know very quickly what they chose for each other. And you'll see on the tracker here that, let's see, I'm actually not sure which, oh yeah, here we got. So iora squares are going to be marked in green, and swap spaces squares are going to be marked in purple. So we've got the, pretty straightforward start here. Ridley in Cirrus Station. So this is a good time to talk about, all of the annoying things that these runners may have to do over the course of this race. Another one that stands out to me here is this row 5. Collect spring ball and skip grapple beam. That's just, like I said before, you have to do that ice clip. Or if you're a complete madman, crystal flash clip. Let's be real, ice clip is going to be much easier. 125 missiles, that's just a lot of collecting, a lot of item fanfare. It's going to take a long time. 3+ reserve tanks means you're going to have to go to a lot of different places in the map. There's only 4 reserve tanks in the whole game, and a lot of them are put in pretty out of the way locations, which doesn't really match with what a worthless item it is. So there's a reserve tank up in Bubble Mountain, there's one deep in the wrecked ship, and there's there's the one in Brinstar where you get early supers, and so on. And then there's one deep in Meridia. So that could be really awful. And then you have to finish near one of the beams. All these finish ones usually just add, a lot of backtracking at the very end, and defeat Spore Spawn, the DLC boss. Yikes. Yeah, Iora, you've got your bingo card up ahead of your game stream here. If you could switch that out, please. Actually see what you're doing. Swap Space, who we can see, is making his way along into Blue Brinstar, or into Retro Brinstar, sorry, and is getting that morph ball so we can get on with the game. All right, here we see Iora on Zebus. Looks like getting started. Had a good look at the bingo card. That's not such a bad idea. You might start a minute or so behind, but really having a good idea of what you want to be doing in this race is very important. What are the forced rows? Can one of the trackers help me out with that? Right, so as we figure out these force rows, Iora picks up his morph ball, Swap Space, doing a wall jump climb here to get out of Retro Brinstar. Yes, this is technically criteria, isn't it? You know what I mean. So I asked both these runners for a little bit of trash talk against each other, see what they wanted to say, how they wanted to hype up this race. Iora said that he is sick and that if he wins, then it's a major disgrace to Swap Space and his family. He also said that this being Memorial Day weekend, for those of you here in the States, um, that get ready for some rip. Swap Space told me to make up whatever trash talk I wanted for Iora, and so I will say that Swap Space just said some really really nasty stuff about Iora just being ugly, looking ugly, and that he deserves to look ugly for being, just a bad person in general, um, and that it reflects sort of the darkness on the inside. So that's some really really dark and twisted stuff, and I would not want to be Swap Space's opponent in this or any match going forward. Um, all right, see Swap Space finishing off Bomb to Rizzo and hopping into this the 250 missiles. So or whatever number it is, I forget. Up those missiles. So I see that Iora is being forced to do column 3. That's defeat Golden Torizo, finish in an elevator, 7+ E-tanks and 70+ missiles, and skip charge beam and 3+ reserve tanks. So we identified some of those as problems before. Reserve tanks, just going all over the place. Skip charge beam along with defeat Golden Torizo means you're going to have to collect a lot of supers in addition to this 7 E-tanks and 70 missiles, and then always these finish in elevator goals. They just, they add a lot of backtracking to the end of your race. Meanwhile, Swap Space has to do bottom left to top right. So collect spring ball and skip grapple, like we said before. That requires an ice clip. No fun. It's a really tricky trick. It's you have to freeze a little dude. It's tough. All right, I'm seeing that there's some issues with my audio, so I'm going to try and fix that before keeping going. And okay, so continuing on with bottom left to top right. So we talked about that spring ball clip. We've also got collect all 10 wreck ship super missiles. That requires a jaunt into the wrecked ship, which is not always somewhere that you want to go. 7+ E-tanks and 70 missiles. Mentioned that before. 15+ power bombs. Again, a lot of collecting. And then collect only one of Varia or Gravity. So we can kind of chart a course there. Nothing in here requires Swap to go into lower Norfair. So that gravity suit seems likely in order to get that ice clip, that spring ball, and the wreck ship is the place to get that that gravity suit. So seems pretty straightforward. Maybe not. See both of these runners picking up their reserve tank to start. Both maybe looking at, we've got 2 reserve tanks here on the card. Of course, Iora is locked into that, but Swap Space wasn't. Good point. Serious Business says that collecting only one of Varia or Gravity Suit is rough when combined with the Wreck Shipped Reserve, because you need, if you're going after that Wreck Ship Reserve, you need Screw Attack, which would require a Hell Run down into Bubble Mountain. So all sorts of possibilities coming up. You see, Swap Space picked up his Charge Beam, so he has been uncrossed out for the skip Charge Beam, and makes perfect sense since he was not forced into column 3. And yeah, continuing on with this early part of the game, Swap Space wandering into Spore Spawn's area. So again, I think we will see some DLC here. And yeah, everybody get hyped for your optional content. Ooh. Swap misses the first round on Spore Spawn, so we'll have to see if he can get the quick kill somewhere else, and just goes for it slow. Iora making his way across the new bridge, picking up a lot of missiles early. Again, that makes sense. Lots of collecting going on in this required. A speculation that Swap might be going for column 5. Again, Swap having to do bottom left to top right Spore Spawn is not required. So looking at column 5, it's certainly better than row 5, I'll say that. Collect Plasma Beam or defeat Ridley. Well, he's going down into Lower Norfair anyway. Wait, sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. All right, Spore Spawn down for Swap. And Iora gets Spazer. So this column 5, collect one of Varia or Gravity, collect Plasma or defeat Ridley, which is kind of the same thing as one of Varia or Gravity, right? You get to choose whether to go into Lower Norfair or to go into what's it called? Into Meridia, deep into Meridia. Criteria Super Missile, not too bad. 100 missiles, well, he's already got to get 70 of them. So, and defeat Spore Spawn is in the bag. So we'll see. Certainly picking up a lot of missiles now. As Iora makes the run into Kraid's lair. We see a dead Marine and Kraid himself. That Marine was one of those really cool, atmosphere building tips that when I first played this game, however many years ago, really just kind of gave me the jeebies. And then you have to face off against this giant monster who, if you're playing with DLC, as Iora is, only gets bigger. Iora, make a joke about the DLC. Iora missed the quick kill glitch on Kraid and has to dance back and forth with the full boss here. And knocks him down, goes to collect his just rewards of that Varia suit. Alright. Iora going along to pick up that E-tank as well. And swap. Oh, takes a detour, jumps up here for some farming. Maybe not comfortable on his health total. Or hopping down into Norfair with that gravity suit in hand. Gonna make everything a whole lot easier. Wander around, not worry about your health and hell runs. Very, very nice. Swap Space is finished farming. It's gonna go about its business. Looks like he really wanted to be full on missiles here for Kraid and Kraid's Lair and all the attendant things. Or picks up E-tank here at high jump. It's going for high jump. So it's going to lock Iora out of a few things. For example, that row 1, although I don't know why anyone would want to do that anyway. And now Swap Space is joining the party with Kraid. Ends that magic pixel, lets out some bombs for swag, and hopefully we'll see a quick kill from Swap Space. Our high jump in hand hops up to, let's see, I forget the room name for this one. But is making his way to Bubble Mountain. We'll see a lot more collection. There's a ton of items and ammo there, so place to fill up. Cathedral. Thank you, Kirito. Iora, well, having a little bit of trouble with that jump, and just goes into the save room for the easier setup. Nope. Okay. And nails it. First try every time. Gets rid of that CAC, the true final boss of the game, and wandering over here to towards speed booster. Besides helping you go fast, which is a laudable goal in any sort of speedrunner race situation, enables a lot of tiles here. So you see things like the wreck ship reserve tank, or some of these clips and such. Swap Space, meanwhile, making his way down into Norfair, taking a safety save. That's an interesting tack. It's not randomizer where you save strategically in order to cut down on backtracking. Route's going to be pretty intentional, so you just want some safety in case this is a very hard game. You die quite a bit, and deaths are very punishing. So one way, if you have a slight lead in execution, to stay ahead and keep your lead, is to make sure that a death won't be super punishing. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Pizzas. Swap skipped Varia and is going down for these hell runs. So a safety save takes on a whole lot more lot more help, whole lot more meaning. Sorry, when you've got to not die to the heat death of the universe. And ooh, all right, got the reserve tank to heal him up. So looks like he is going to get out of ice safely. Oh, freezes it, forgets that it's frozen, has to go back and kill it. Iora picked up that Bubble Mountain reserve tank and is, yeah, cruising right along here, picking up a lot of items in this item dense location. Question from Rutzor is here: which rows are forced? Swap space is being forced to do bottom left to top right. Iora is forced to do column 3. You see that first arrow is in here. So as of now, we can only speculate who is doing what for their optional row or column, and it looks like there's a decent chance that swap space is choosing to do column 5. Iora, is he making his way down to Croc? Is this what's going on here? Are we going to see a surprise appearance from everybody's eight-eyed monster? Favorite eight-eyed monster, rather. Yep, Croxy's out in chat, and we have an appearance. So we've got here a few boxes here that correspond with Croc. There's Defeat Crocomire and Dragon here in, if you see row 3, column 2. And that's the only one. Well, we get to see Croc anyway, and that's more than you often see Croc in races. So hats off to Iora for giving the people what they want. We've got a speculation here in chat from Serious Business. Is Iora going for row 1? Maybe. We've got Iora already has 2 reserve tanks and collected only one of Ice Beam or High Jump boots, and skipping the High Jump boots, skipping the Ice Beam. That's a little less noticeable than skipping the High Jump boots. And the 2 reserve tanks is on its way to 3 reserve tanks, which he has to get anyway. Oh, Swap Space taking a death here. So happy that he took that save. This is a serious setback. Even with that save, that's a couple minute time loss. It's gonna be tough to make up. He's gonna have to collect his Ice Beam all over again as well. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Serious Business was inquiring about row 1, not column 1. Row 1. So that's collect all 15 Brinstar super missiles, destroy at least 1 statue. So to note, destroy statue goals mean that you have to beat the boss. You also have to go into the Golden 4 room and watch that statue die. So even though both these runners have killed Kraid, they don't technically have that goal yet. So they'll have to, if they're either of them are going for that, they're going to have to route back into what is that, Blueprint Star anyway. No, Criteria. Always mix that up. Yeah, so continuing on with that, defeat Golden Terrizzo. Let's see, Iora is going to have to go, or no. Yeah, Iora is going to have to do that anyway, because it's a forced goal. And then collect Grapple Beam and skip Charge Beam. Looks like that has already happened. And collect one of Varia Gravity. That has also already happened. So yeah, that makes sense, especially with the rest of this that forced goal not requiring Meridia. You can go on through. Did who get Spo Super Retsaurus? Only Swap Space did kill Spore Spawn, but Spaghetti, our wonderful tracker, keeping us up to date and letting us know that Swap Space did not get that super. Iora going for the grapple across, picks up the wave beam missiles. Not the wave beam. Swap Space gets the ice beam again, and is continuing on into Norfair. I mean, when you make your play, you gotta keep going with it, even if it killed you the first time. These runners know what their routes are. They know how to play this game, and it's just a matter of execution. Ooh, all right. And Swap Space takes another death. That is unfortunate. This is going to be hard to come back from, but I do not doubt our runners. As Iora making his way back into Brinstar here. We'll see exactly what he's trying to do. The obvious play is to try and stay down in Norfair and try and just knock out all of Norfair, because he's going to have to go back down into lower Norfair. But that's really dangerous with the item loadout. It would require let's see, require a lava dive. Not sure if Iora is comfortable with that trick, but notable that he's locked out of getting that gravity suit if he's going for row 1. So all right, Mystic Elf says I see Iora's route. You want to here in chat, you want to help us out? Tell us what you see. Yeah, Iora does have to get one more reserve tank. So it's debatable which one is going to be easier to go to. You've got this one way up at Wreck Ship. Of course, going all the way through Wreck Ship, through the bowling cutscene, grab that reserve tank, and then not pick up gravity. It's going to be annoying. On the other hand, deep into Meridia, again, can't get that gravity suit. I don't know if that's impossible without gravity, but man, I would never want to do that. Yeah, Iora skipping Waterway E-Tank. Iora does have Speed Booster. And Iora does need to get 7 70 E-Tanks. No, 70 tanks. So, yep, skips out, kind of jukes us there, goes down towards Waterway and then hops back up. And, oh, don't know if Iora intended to visit the Decora here. But there is a card here to visit the critters. And we'll see if Iora goes for the swag and frees the Decora. Doesn't look like it now. Yeah, yeah, some speculation that maybe Iora is going for row 2 instead of row 1. Row 2 does have visit the critters, finish in an elevator, 2 reserve tanks, again already gotten, 15 plus power bombs, not too big of a problem, and collect plasma or defeat Ridley. So he's going to be in Lower Norfair to defeat Golden Terizo. Beating Ridley, not too hard beyond that, although he is going to need a lot of supers. And then finish in an elevator means that he can go back up to that, let's see, what's the best elevator after Ridley? I think you have to do the full Lower Norfair escape. So we'll see. Iora visits the Edicoons here, so that's the second critter. Edicoons are all but happy to teach you how to wall jump. Iora, obviously already an expert. And Swap Space, continuing on with the Hell Run. Looks like Swap Space made it through into Bubble Mountain, farmed up, and is grabbing Speed Booster. So good for him. Really awesome to see this race on, and Swap Space alive and kicking, and picks up that missile for good measure. Both these runners are going to have to end up doing a lot of collection between that. 70 plus missiles is required for both. All right, Iora making his way back up, and looks like he's might be heading in towards. Got his 15 power bombs, so that's a significant accomplishment there. That row 2 really is coming together. Although I'm still curious about that. He's got the easy ones down, but defeating Ridley and collecting and finishing in that elevator, it's going to take some time. And Swap Space farming back up after that Hell Run, getting to a comfortable life total so he can piece all the way out of Norfair and not deal with this anymore. Iora heading back through Criteria, back towards the ship. Notably, did skip a really good routing opportunity to go watch that statue blow up. So looks all but certain that he's not going for row 1 at this time. And Swap Space, very smart, takes another safety save. Iora also saving here at the ship. Good decisions from both runners. I will point out again that this is the losers bracket. So, one untimely death could be the factor that knocks either of these runners out of the tournament. You don't want to see that. Looks like Iora is trying to set up for this, maybe for a full ocean fly here. Nope, just doing the moat spark. That's probably smart. And maybe another spark to get across the ocean. Yep, looking good. All right, and Swap Space is heading along. into the reserve tank room in Bubble Mountain. So both of them having to pick up. Actually, swap space is not required for reserve tanks. So maybe swap space is just going for missiles here. I don't know if he would have saved first to do that. So maybe he's also looking at that 2+ reserve tank. Oh, swap space takes another death. That's really rough. These hell runs are really difficult. As Iora wanders into this Fantoon fight here. See how Iora does. This is very trolly boss for just about everybody. Looks like I'm not an expert on patterns, but this one's not looking particularly quick. Finally opens his eye, takes a couple missiles to the face, and here we go. The question's coming up in chat, why is Swap even doing a hell run here? It's a great question. He's forced to collect only one of Varia or Gravity. So the only answer could be that he really wants to go into Meridia for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. Clearly he has to go into Meridia in order to get that spring ball. The question is, why would he do this rather than, finding a better way down? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, he needs that grapple. He needs that oh no, he has to skip grapple. I'm not sure. Oh, this might not. Swap space is going to be forced to skip grapple to collect spring ball, and here he is fighting Croc. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the routing decision is here, because if he picks up that grapple beam, he's going to have to reset. As Iora finishes off Fantoon, excellent fight, and moves along to wreck ship cleanup. Picking up those PBs in after Croc, that seems like a long way to go for PBs, but yeah, we'll see. All right, Croc is down, and Iora picks up the left side supers. There is a so Iora picking up those supers probably won't be anything required, but just to have, because he's going to have to beat Ridley. Yeah, Serious Business makes a great comment here in chat. Swap Space could have just done an early wreck ship because he wasn't going to have to double dip it. So, going in there for supers and gravity, the required goals, and then piecing out would have been an easier path than going all the way down here and monkeying through Upper Norfair first. However, just like those hell runs were hard, early wreck ship is also very difficult. So we'll see. It's easy to say, oh, there are all these different routes through Super Metroid. There are all these sequence breaks. This is a tough game, folks. Iora making way through to the bowling cutscene, and sits down, curls up in the warm embrace of a chorizo statue, and Oh, what this tree is very bad at bowling. You're not supposed to walk through the alley there, uh, and you're not supposed to fall down below the alley either. But what do I know about bowling? Um, Iora is down here, of course, cannot pick up this gravity suit, but really wants that reserve tank down below. So lays the power bomb and gonna blast these robots out of the way. Do a speed, get some speed. Do a shine spark, and pick up that reserve tank, and hopefully doesn't accidentally pick up that gravity suit on his way out. Swap making his way out of Norfair, out of Croc's lair at least, and does not go for that. Does not go for that grapple beam. Good call. Iora picks up that reserve tank, and look at this. Iora is closing in on victory. Still has to go all the way down into Lower Norfair, beat Ridley, finish up his collection. Oh no! Iora picks up gravity. Oh no, wait. That's okay. I'm sorry. Swap isn't allowed to pick up both. Iora can do whatever the heck he wants. So that's going to make it easier to get down into Lower Norfair. Doing a gravity jump, or with that speed booster, just doing a spark down there. Still quite a bit of collection to do. Iora is on 5 E-tanks, so he needs 6 more. He also needs missiles, and he also needs supers if he's gonna... I don't think he's at 30 yet for that Ridley fight. Defeating Golden Terizo, well, that's just on the way to Ridley. That's not a huge deal. But yeah, looks like Iora is in the lead here, and making his way back down into Norfair to clean up and get this done. Swap space back into Bubble Mountain. Looks like he's gonna pick up some ammo here. Okay, Iora does have the missile requirement, so just needs 2 more E-tanks in order to pick up that card there. Thank you, Mystic Elf, for the assist. Right, swap space, doing a little bomb jump to get out of this Bubble Mountain ammo area. Iora taking a refill, and yeah, getting ready to make his way back down into Norfair. Swap space, taking a look around, trying to figure out what he needs to pick up, what he wants to pick up. Still going for that reserve tank, it looks like, up here in Bubble Mountain. Yep, makes a high jump. And interesting, Iora is going into Meridia, so not exactly sure why. If anybody in chat has a better idea, it doesn't seem to synergize a whole lot with his required row here, but I might be missing something. The just going into Mama Turtle for an E-tank and some missiles, and then piecing all the way out, could be. But it seems easier to just pick up the E-tank at Fireflies, and then at what's it called? Daniel Collin asks, maybe he wants to collect plasma. That certainly could be, but I don't think it would help him a lot. He has to go into Lower Norfair anyway, and the goal in row 2, which we're speculating he's going after, is collect plasma or defeat Ridley. He doesn't have charge beam, so plasma isn't going to help with his Ridley fight. And he skips those missiles, so maybe he was just going after that E-tank. Well, he's continuing up into Meridia. And going for more ammo, it looks like. going into these hidden supers here. And that will help with the Ridley fight. So it's an interesting bit of routing. Makes some sense. And Swap Space picks up his reserve tank and only has 130 health to get out of this heated room here, and that's another death. That's very unfortunate. All right, Iora still making his way through Meridia, and let's see, we've got looks like maybe going down into no, heading up towards Botwoon. Looks like he's gonna do. Looks like he might do all of Meridia here, all the way into Dragon, perhaps, and perhaps do that plasma beam goal. I'm quite surprised. We have a Botwoon fight for Iora. And not quite on the one round. It's a very difficult kill. And Botwoon with that super trolley movement pattern and hitbox is making life difficult for Iora. But one more super should do it. And there it is. Okay, Swap Space still going after that reserve tank. Picks it up, and he's going to empty his reserves, make this escape a little better. And let's cross our fingers, folks. Iora picks up the E-Tank after Botwoon. Oh, come on, Iora. No! Oh. Rough stuff. Swap Space takes another death. And Iora farming up here before the Happy room, or the Happy setup room. Place to farm, and let's see if Iora grabs the spark. Oh, just spark straight up, so no Happy attempt for Iora. And Swap Space, it's just going to keep going at it. It's going to, I admire the persistence here, but I'm not sure it's quite the exact game plan that's really going to lead to victory. But, you do what you got to do in a race setting. So picks up that reserve tank. Got 177 health plus reserves to get out of this room. Gets a running start, and he's going to measure his jumps to avoid this lava. Oh, takes a hit. 63 plus reserves. And is he going to manually fill up? No, he's going to let the heat take him, and that's another death. Man, I would not want to be in Swap Space's shoes right now. This has got to feel rough. Iora taking on Dragon. Again, not entirely sure why. And Swap Space is going to keep going for it. He's picked his route. He's a little too deep at this point. So here we go. Oh, Rumblemans has the lead here. It says Iora perhaps just wants to do Dragon and pick up Plasma rather than do the rest of Lower Norfair after Golden Terizo. And that's a good idea, because as Rumble points out, you can go ahead and kill GT, then wander your way back up, and just finish in that Lower Norfair elevator. Swap Space sees the writing on the wall, and doesn't like his health for an attempt to get out. Resets, does another one. So Iora looking pretty good here, finishing up on your friend and mine, Dragon, and grabs that space jump, makes his way out of Meridia, and I'm expecting to see him go pick up Plasma here, and that's exactly what he's doing. So let's see another attempt from Swap Space here. Liking his health so far. All right, taking it easy. Ooh, takes a hit there. Oh, takes another hit. Takes another hit. But 170 plus reserves to get out. It's doable. Just really has to take it slow and avoid getting hits. Gets that skips a jump there. That's nice. All right. Is he going to manually empty his reserves? Because that's been messing him up here. And all right, gets out without even needing him. Thank goodness. Congrats, everybody! Everybody, give your congrats and give your love to Swap Space. That was a tough run there, but he got through it. And elects not to save, not to farm. Yep, Pog champs here for Swap Space. Thanks everybody. No save. He's just gonna go straight down and start farming. Iora picks up that plasma beam. And takes out all these red pirates on his way out. Fuchsia pirates, hot pink pirates. Some real 90s looks going on for these pirates. I'm a fan. And Swap Space, finally, his victorious and well-fought exit from Norfair. Iora heading down through the toilet, out of plasma area, and getting ready to finish this off. Spaghetti, this game is from the 90s. You wouldn't guess it from the the just deep commitment to it from runners in the present day, and two, just the deep influence that it has on pretty much every single video game in the present. Yeah, let's get some appreciation for what a wonderful game Super Metroid is. And also what a wonderful decade the 90s were. I'm not gonna hate. Yeah, and the retro graphics trend. That too, Spaghetti, absolutely. Mystic Elf. So I wonder if Iora is unfamiliar with getting into Lower Norfair without space jump. It's entirely possible. That lava dive trick is not easy, and it requires a short charge, and if I believe, not an easy short charge to do a spark. And the gravity jump, that's not very straightforward either. Demon Frog asks, "What is double anti-bingo tournament?" This is a good time as any to answer that. Double anti-bingo is a way to play Super Metroid where we generate a bingo card full of things that you can do in Super Metroid. Not necessarily things that you want to do, things that are trolly or difficult or just kind of out of the way. And we generate a full bingo card full of them, and you have to fill it twice: a row, diagonal, or column, one of your choosing and one of your opponent's choosing. So it's a very interesting and strategic way to require a lot of different sequence breaks and tricks and things that you don't normally see in normal Super Metroid runs. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, you have to fill out 2 bingos, so 2 collections of full rows, columns, or the anti throws a lot of people off because the anti means somebody else chooses it for you. And Swap Space picks up Power Bombs pack number 3. So that's a required goal for that bottom left to top right. Iora making his way down into Lower Norfair, going into the back door to Gold Terizo's room. He's got 12, 11, 10 supers in order to get this green gate glitch. Nails it. Well done. Laser power bomb just to fill back up here. Gonna need those for his GT fight. And taking the back road down into Gold Terizo's lair. So after this fight, all Iora needs to do is head back up to that Lower Norfair elevator, and that'll be the game, folks. And Swap Space is heading over. Looks like, see, yep, sparking into all the way through Gauntlet. Didn't quite get that the full wraparound spark the first time, but clears it out now. Very well done. Gets that E-tank. And Iora not really picking up the magic spot here to keep GT from flailing about, but looks like he's got something here. This is a slow fight without charge. You've got to throw away a lot of supers and then farm them all back up again. So luckily, Iora has grapple. That's going to make things a lot easier. Plays a power bomb and walks away from that magic spot that keeps GT from doing anything. And yep. Swap Space is making his way over towards. Let's see if he's going to the wrecked ship. Seems likely with his required goals here. Nope, he's going. Oh no, yeah, that's the. My bad. He's gonna take his spark across the moat. And oops, gets gooped there a little bit. Didn't quite make it in time to let those blocks respawn. TNT, what happened to Swap Space is he tried a very difficult hell run, and it just didn't work out for him. He took a number of deaths, and you know, sometimes that's just the name of the game. All right, Iora onto this second phase of Gold Terizo. He started to change colors, and Swap Space down into the ocean, grabbing some more ammo. This is a huge number of missiles here, so he's required to get 70. He's got significantly more than that, so I'd speculate that maybe he's going for this column 5 here. He's going to make his way. Yep, takes a spark, flies across the ocean. Now he's just going to clean up wrecked ship and get that gravity suit and go try and finish this game off. And Iora has GT down and is making his way over to the elevator, and that is it. GG Iora. And it looks like so far Swap Space is continuing on. I'm not in the race room here, so I don't know if Swap Space is going to choose to forfeit. But so far, it looks like he's playing it out. And you know what? After that tough time that he had in Norfair with those hell runs, he absolutely earned this. Go take your go play the game and have fun with it, Swap Space. But congrats and GG's to Iora. Fantastic race, and you know, we were looking at this bingo card before it started, and we identified this column 3 as a problem column, as something that's difficult, whereas this bottom left to top right seemed to be a little bit easier. But huge ups to iora for finding a row that synergized with it, for finding the sneaky, difficult path to assign to swap space, and for running a fantastic race. So iora, our winner, will advance, continue on in the losers bracket, and swap space, unfortunately, is just going to enjoy his last time in the tournament here. We've got some calls for got golden showers here. This is not a technique you get to see very often, and swap space swagging it up here, and the swag unfortunately leads to his death, but I think he knows the race is done and he's having some fun. Yep, is not continuing on after this. So GG's to swap space. Thank you, both of these runners, for such a fantastic race. I want to remind everybody here in chat to follow iora, follow swap space. Thank you both for providing us some fantastic entertainment this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you may be on this globe of ours. And please follow our fantastic trackers, Spaghetti Toast Book and Kirito. Did some fantastic work for us, keeping this card up to date and making sure everybody knew what was going on. Please don't follow me. I don't run any games. I don't stream anything. Our runners, our trackers, much more deserving. And thank you all, everybody in chat, for your time. And this has been a production on SpeedGaming. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.